Hello everyone. Welcome back to PB Talks. This is me with yet another CSK match review where CSK won yet another game that is 2 wins in a row and we go up to third position. I've got myself, my dear Tamuru, my dear brother Varun, Sunrisers supporter, who I actually had at the start to qualify for the playoffs because they had a decent squad. Like in terms of bowling, like all round squad, they seem good, but now they kind of seem disjointed. I know there's still 8 games left, but I have Varun with me to discuss in detail of what went through the game. If you're new to this channel, make sure you like this video. Every like does help the algorithm. Make sure to smash the subscribe button. On my way to 1,500 subscribers. Hope I get that very soon. Also, make sure to check out Varun's channel as well. Pinned to the title. Click that. Takes you straight to his channel. Doesn't even take you off this video for some fun content, some fun reels and whatnot. And and this is probably the most comfortable game that CSK have had this season, because every game that you witness, like we've kind of had some form of like a stumble in between or some kind of break in between. But this is one game where CSK, you would say, dominated from first to last, and SRH just had no clue. So, what were your first thoughts on it? Because not at any point did I feel CSK were in trouble.
I mean, first of all, I think before the game as well, there was a bit of rain in Chennai. So I think that,
Was there? I'm not sure.
Yeah, there was rain. So us batting first was a bit of a disadvantage right there. And I think Dhoni, he knows what to do. He picked a ball first. He knows it's his home ground right there. So he knows what to do. He picked a ball first. And you could clearly see we were struggling from the first ball. Right. I think Brooks' wicket, it was a very good catch. Right. In the 30th circle, it was a good catch. Or I felt like, if he stayed, SRH would have gotten to at least maybe 140, 150. Because this definitely is not a 135 pitch. Yeah. Right. Maybe a few extra runs, maybe like 15 or 20 runs. It could have made a bit of more of a competitive game. Because you saw, CSK also dragged it almost till the last over, right? Maybe that could have been the possibility, even if you got the extra 15, 20 runs. So, I expected that. But unfortunately, it's just not working out for us. Mayank Agarwal isn't firing. He came at, I think, number 6 or 7 today.
Yeah,
I don't know what was the reason of that. Yeah, he's an opener. He comes in at what, 1, 2, or 3. Coming in at 6 or 7, that's never going to work.
I mean, I understood that to a point, because I think in the middle of that spin show, Klaasen was one guy who can bat spin very well. He's the best player of spin in your team, I think.
And Mayank cannot bat against spin. He is not a spin basher. He needs to take, he needs to utilize the power play. He knows how to, get the gaps, when the paces are in. But with the spinners, you can clearly see him struggling. Against, I think, the wrist spinners, he gets out most of the time, like 70% of the time. And against normal finger spinners, he has a very low strike rate. So getting him in the middle overs, it's not a right bet to go with. Right. So that's what. So Mayank Agarwal should be opening.
In terms of even like the start 11. So in terms of like just the start, we'll just go through the lineup. So the starting 11, you did bring in one change. You brought in Umran Malik for T. Natarajan. Was Natarajan injured, or was it just?
I think it's his
just
form.
a change.
It's the form and his consistency. I think playing in
Chennai,
I thought maybe
being a Chennai boy. He's been playing there there almost all his career. I thought they would have given him a chance.
Yeah, but I think it's just his form. I thought, as you said, he would play because he's a Chennai boy and the game was at Chennai. But again, the inclusion of Umran Malik, it did work out. I think he did bowl well, right? He was pretty economical. So I think that's good signs for Umran Malik. And in the context of the game, where we had around 135, 136, and he had those kind of figures. Forget the last 2 balls of his spell. Those are excuses. But just the remainder of his bowling quota, he was nailing the perfect line and lengths. He was nailing the Yorkers as well. And that's what we like to see from this express pacer, right? Right onto the stumps, right onto the legs. It's going to be dangerous. He won't concede much runs as he was, against the Rajasthan Royals, right? So you can clearly see that with this game's bowling.
And look at that scoreline in itself. I mean, yes, you were after a decent start, but at no point you look like you're going to like fly away with it. I mean, yes, you were getting those boundaries in between, but it was followed like with 3-4 dots and then a 4. Again, 2-3 dot singles and then 4. So effectively, you're compensating for those missed balls. So your strike rate is not really getting above 150. If you look at the lineup, none of your only the last Washington Sundar, he came in at like number like 8 or something. He only his strike rate is reached like 150. Others they couldn't put bat to ball. I mean, Harry Brook, yes, he got a few strokes going, especially against Tushar Deshpande. Like one ram shot he got. Abhishek Sharma, he did get a few strokes in, but apart from that, they were not really like flying. And I mean, someone had to take a chance, and I don't think anyone took a chance.
I think the Sunrisers Hyderabad batsmen against the spinners, it's a challenge for them. And especially having someone like Ravindra Jadeja in the CSK lineup and against a pure dominant right hand batsman side, right? It's going to be a difficult one. And, you have Moeen Ali, you have Jadeja, you have Teekshana, this spin attack, it can rattle through any right hand batting middle order first one, and that's what you saw with Tripathi. That's what you saw with Markham. That's what you saw with the Mayank, right? Aiden Markham's wicket, it was silly. I think he could have just stayed up. He's the captain, right? He needs to take the responsibility. I mean, according to the situation, I understood why he had to go for that shot, but again, in the context of the game, when you're losing wickets on the other side, he needs to maybe stay still for about 20 balls, assess the conditions, and then go ahead, just going at it like he always does. So I think Aiden Markham should have stayed just for a bit more. And Abhishek Sharma coming back opening, he was impressive, I can say. 34, I think it has the highest score. And he looked nice. He looked
Yeah.
stable enough to be back as an opener. And it's good to see Abhishek Sharma back in form. Rahul Tripathi, it's been a below average season for him so far, sadly. I think
I
he's the
expected a
income
lot
master.
from him, to be fair,
Yeah,
because we did see glimpses of him before, but this season, I don't know what is with him, because we are used to see him open the innings, and now SRH have put him at number 3. Um, I'm not sure what the strategy behind it is, because last season, I think at points you were opening with Abhishek Sharma and Rahul Tripathi. Now you've got in Harry Brook, who's you put him in the top of the order to get those extra runs. So do you think Harry Brook is like an opener, or do you think he's good even at 3 or 4? What are your thoughts on it?
I think even last year, the wickets used to fall very early. So Rahul Tripathi, he used to bat at 3 for the whole tournament last year. So he used to come in early. Basically, he's
Okay.
a opener. He's an opener itself.
Hmm.
Right, when the Kane Williamson wickets used to fall, he used to come in within 2 or 3 overs, and then he used to go bang bang. Right, and talking about Harry Brook, I think he isn't feeling comfortable enough. Sure, he got a century against Kolkata, but opening isn't his slot. And that's what he said in the Kolkata, versus Kolkata post-match presentation as well. He said he would play any position wherever the team wants him, but he said he's more comfortable and he got his fame batting at 5. So he's comfortable at 5, and that's his original position. And you're putting him at opening. So I mean, I just want to see him back at 5. I think Abhishek Sharma, Mayank Agarwal from the first game, right? Just bring back your first game opening and bring back your first game middle order. Not the players, but in the playing 11 stance, right? So Abhishek Sharma, Mayank Agarwal, and then you got Rahul Tripathi, Aiden Markram, and then Harry Brook, and then Heinrich Klaasen. The batting lineup looks good, but they're not firing. Right. In paper wise, name wise, it's all nice, but again, it's the form. Where you know what I'm thinking of right now? Like in Kabaddi, the Telugu Titans team is coming to me now. We have all these big names shining everywhere, but this
I
tiny
mean,
of a
it's not
performance.
that bad, to be fair. I mean, Telugu Titans were like rock bottom. I mean, fair enough. This team is not great, but still, I mean, and even you look at the way the score was progressing. Power play got to about 45, which is not a bad start. 45 for 1 in 6 hours is a decent start. You're trying to set a total, but after that, when it came to the last 4 overs in those middle phase, you only score like 106 for 5, 16 overs. So essentially, in those 10 overs, you made only like 60 runs. And 106 per 5 of 16 overs, when you've got like, I think at that time I think you still had Klaasen. I think only at the 17th over he got out, something like that. Pratirana.
Yeah.
But you have to credit the CSK bowlers here. I mean, we were just top notch. Again, our only weakness mainly was like the power play bowling, because I think we considered like 11 runs every power play, which is not good enough. But spin choke, and then in the death overs, I think we're only second best death economy next to Gujarat Titans. So, and if you actually see in the last 10 overs, we conceded only 4 boundaries. We restricted Sunrisers to only 4 boundaries in the last 10 overs. And the scorecard clearly shows that Moeen couldn't put bat to ball. Jansen tried. He was just random. He was just randomly swinging. Sundar, I mean, I don't know why he's batting so low. I have no idea. And even you look at the bowling, I mean, everyone just stood out. I mean, Tushar Deshpande, he gives runs. You expected a wicket from him. He just couldn't get it. But Deekshana, we all knew what he was capable of. Moeen did fairly well. Jadeja was good. And then Pratirana was just Pratirana. I mean, 2 games in a row, that's him putting in good back-to-back performances from a 20-year-old. And you can only see better things of him. And slowly liking Akash Singh as well. That's like 3 games, he's got about 5 wickets. That is not a bad start when you're coming in just as a replacement bowler. And you were thinking, okay, fair enough, 134, not a great score, but if you can get a couple of wickets early and probably jolt them early in the piece, like say within the power play, like get at least like 1 or 2 wickets and get them at like 40, you do still have a chance. But we raced to 60 for no loss of 6 overs, and that was basically game over.
Yeah. And I think the power play bowling. Yeah, I think Bhuvneshwar Kumar started off well. I think Marco Jansen over, the last over, it went for 23 runs of the power play.
23.
The 6th over.
Yeah.
23 runs. And if that did not happen, this wouldn't be the case right here. It might have just dragged on to the 20th over. The 23 run over changed everything. Again, I got glimpses of what Marco Jansen versus Gujarat Titans. That over changed the game. This over changed the game. I mean,
like, were you surprised when Markram took the 3rd over? Because I was very surprised when he took the 3rd over. I know he spin bowler and whatnot, but still.
I wasn't surprised. I expected a spinner, but not him, right? In the context of expecting a spinner, I wasn't surprised. But Markram picking himself to bowl, yeah, I was, right? Because he's a part-timer. You had someone like Dagar, you had Markande, you had Washington Sundar, you have Abhishek Sharma. And he went on
of
to
course,
pick himself.
Dagar did come in as an impact player for Rahul Tripathi.
Yeah, I felt like if you would have gotten in Mayank Dagar in earlier in the power play, I felt he would have been useful because he's getting flight and he's left arm spinner.
And Dagar bowled well, by the way. He was
he bowled very well, and he was nailing the Yorkers. That's what I'm saying. Like how Vander Merv did for Sunrisers Eastern Cape, he was nailing the Yorkers. He was getting the flight, and that's what I saw in Mayank Dagar now. Right, so he's nailing the Yorkers and he's getting the flight, and I felt like maybe you could have just restricted that run rate a bit in the power play if he would have came in the 3rd over. Adam Markram coming in at 3rd over, it wasn't the perfect choice, I think, and especially Marco Jansen bowling that 6th over, it wasn't the greatest choice as well.
But then you have to compliment the way Devon Conway has been batting. That is 3 50s in a row, and the wonderful partnership between Gaikwad and Conway. It just keeps going. I mean, this is 13 games and they've already got 550 partnerships, and 3 of them have already been 100 plus partnerships. That shows how in this short span of time they've actually complemented each other well. And Devon Conway, that's his 3rd 50 in a row. He scored well against Rajasthan. People were saying, oh, he batted slow. He just ran out of partners. Someone needed to stay with him and did what Rahane did against the spin attack, because Rahane, what he did against Rajasthan, someone needed to continue that. No one continued that, and Devon was left stranded. And at the end, he was like, nah, screw this. I'll try to hit, and if I get out, I just get out. But then last game against RCB, we saw how he was complemented well with Rahane, and at the end with Dube. And today he was complemented by Gaikwad, and others just didn't really need to do much. He kind of did the scoring. Just a reminder that no one else bid for him. He was only sold for 1 crore in the auction, which was a huge steal. I knew he would take his time, but
even for Gaikwad, man, 20 lakhs, Gaikwad.
Yeah, 20. Our opening combination just cost like 1.2 crores. It's just as simple as that. And we knew that obviously he was not going to swap straightly slot in for Duplessis, who has been doing fantastic, but he needed to take his time, and once he took his time, he's obviously going to do well. And he's now also as the text stand, he's the 4th highest scorer of the tournament. He's about 260 runs behind Faf Duplessis, David Warner, and Virat Kohli. And of course, like CSK being CSK, we don't like to do things the easy way. We like to drag things until the very last over. But saying that, um, your bowlers didn't really do too bad. Apart from that 123 run over and Amakram's first over, your bowlers really didn't too bad. Imagine if you had got like a 150 or 160, you could have definitely chanced this till the last over.
I think it's a spinners. It's a spinners paradise in Chepak, and they did
Yeah.
succeed. Look at Washington Sundar. It's a very rare sight. I'm very happy to see Sundar performing like this. It's been a
Yeah,
while
but
since
Sundar
I
has
see him
always
bowling.
been like this. No, Sundar has not been like a wicket taking bowler. He's always been like a
Yeah,
4 overs, none
huh,
for 20, none for 23 kind of bowler. He's
yeah.
not
He's not
someone
a
who you
strike
look for
bowler.
the wickets.
Yeah.
If you want someone to contain, then he's your guy.
Hmm. And Mayank Dagger, as I already mentioned, left-hander, he gets the flight. He performed
Yeah,
exceptionally for his first game. Umran
yeah.
Malik, I thought
Do you
with
think
this
he's like a
pitch,
flight kind of bowler, or do you think, as you mentioned earlier, like Roloff van der Merwe? Because Roloff van der Merwe, from what I've seen, is like a straight stump to stump bowler. No
hmm,
giving time, no trying anything, no complicated. Do you think Dagger is kind of like a give flight? If he hits it, he hits it. But I will take the wicket at the end.
I think that's what I saw him today. That's what I saw in him today. I think he's getting the speed right and he's getting his length right. He's bowling it right onto the stumps, right onto the
Okay.
legs. Right, and that's what you want to see from your
Yeah.
spinners. So Mayank Dagger, he performed well. Umrah Malik's addition as instead of Natarajan, of course, I thought it was a crazy change because for this kind of pitch, you need some experience. And Umran Malik, he's been going expensive, and so is Natarajan, but he has that experience in Chennai. So I was intrigued by
Yeah.
his inclusion in the side, but he's performed well. 3 overs, 18 runs. So that does justice to his role. And Mayank Markande, he kept continuing his fantastic performances.
Yeah. That
Like,
googly to Rayudu was unbelievable. I mean, Rayudu had zero
perfect,
clue about
yeah.
it.
Yeah, so he got another 2 wicket haul. That was again, I think he's made a fantastic comeback. Right. In 2018, he played a few games and then he was right out of the limelight after playing the one game for India. He went like
Yeah.
for what 10 or plus economy for the one game and he went away somewhere in the woods. Now he's with the Sunrisers. We gave him those chances and he's got 8 wickets so far. So this is
Yeah.
good for him. This is really, really good for him. And as I said, Washington Sundar, Mayank Dagger, Umrah Malik, and then Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, he's bowled well in the power play. I
Mm.
didn't expect him anyway to bowl in the middle or the death. It
Yeah.
was almost like a 16 to 20 over spin track for us right there. So I think overall it's a good bowling performance. I think with the target we gave them,
Yeah.
we dragged it almost till the very end,
I
right?
mean,
So
I'm not
that's
sure to
something
say
to get.
like you can look at it both ways, but what I look at it is like we didn't need to go hell for leather
Huh.
because people keep saying in the net run rate comes into the picture. But for me, if you win games, NRR is the least of your concern.
Yeah.
See, if you like win say 9 games, 9 or 10 games in the season by one run, one wicket, you have 18, 20 points. Even if you had an NRR of say 0.05, you couldn't care less because yes, that makes a
That's what
difference.
Gujarat Titans is doing since last year. They're dragging every game till the last over, right? And they're getting those points on the board, right?
Yeah,
From the
points.
first game to the last game.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Only
what.
when you're losing, when you're in a situation where you have to, when you lose games, like you have to kind of worry about the NRR. And
Hmm.
if you win games, if once you put points on the board, NRR is the least of your concern,
Yeah.
unless the other team is doing extremely well and it becomes a challenge for the top two and the eliminated playoffs.
Hmm.
That really doesn't matter. And speaking of which, the playoff venue has been decided. So the qualifier one and the eliminator will be played in Chennai, and the qualifier two and the final will be played in Ahmedabad. So by the time I go to Chennai, I land in Chennai on May 20th. I will
Ah.
hopefully, fingers crossed, if this team, I think this team will qualify for the playoffs. Hopefully, qualified one, and I will be going. And of course, if we do the final in Ahmedabad, I will be doing the travel to Ahmedabad as well.
Yeah.
To and fro flights to Ahmedabad are all 11,000 for now. So I don't know. Someone has to give me a discount, or I don't know. But that's by the by. But saying that, CSK do look strong here. 4 out of 6 wins, and of course, next we do play KKR. It's a very short turnaround. It's day after tomorrow, so
Oh,
that
okay.
is maybe that is one reason why we kind of required to finish this series so we can get some extra rest. It's not too much, to be fair. Obviously, that they're only going to go to the hotels, get a good sleep, and then tomorrow take the flight to Kolkata and then do it and whatnot. But Sunrisers, there are positives in terms of the bowling, but batting you still need to sort it out and fix a combination. Do you want Mayank Agarwal as 3 or 4, or do you want him as opener? Do you want Harry Brook to continue as opener? Where do you fit Abhishek Sharma in? So it's like everything is kind of like a hunky dory and sort of it's not set. Whereas if we see CSK, like one of the main reasons we have been doing well is the set opening combination. So last season we saw Gaikwad and Conway played first game, and then after that we changed it, and then last we decided to change it to Conway and Gaikwad. 2020 season, we started with Watson and Vijay, then we put Watson and Fav. Randomly, Sam Curran started to open, and but in 2021 we saw every single game it was Gaikwad and Fav that opened. So this time we have to continue the same. Ben Stokes is going to have a very tough time to come into the lineup because we can't drop anyone, and at this point in time, injuries. Yes, we do have injuries, but it doesn't seem like we have injuries. Akash Singh is hitting the right lens. Tushar Deshpande, I'm sure he'll come good. And Patirana, it's only 2 games, but we have seen most of him that he can come good again. And that's like 3 wickets in 2 games. And his last 6 overs, he's only conceded like 36 runs. And that's absolutely superb for a 20-year-old. So hope for more of him. And we play KKR next on Sunday. Who you got next, by the way?
Delhi
Is it at home or away?
Home.
Okay, then I think you should be back. You should be back winning on that one.
We got back-to-back games against Delhi.
Oh, really? Okay, then you have to win those 2 games. Else, qualifying will be a very, very.
I have one request. One request. Ask Sanchit to jinx the game.
I mean, I thought Akash Chopra would have jinxed it, but I'm so sad that actually one of his predictions actually came true today. Because if you see most of his predictions for the past few games, everything has gone haywire. Today's prediction actually came right. So, I don't know. I mean, even Sanchit, I remember first game when we were doing the Insta Live. He was saying Gujarat Titans will win. And I was like, yes, get in that. But it wasn't to be. So, I don't know. I'll pass on the message to Sanchit. Sanchit, if you're watching, you know what to do. But saying that Delhi have been really poor, you have to win those next 2 games. There is no excuse. Else you're allowing Delhi to come back. And Delhi have won that first game. After they tried so much to lose yesterday. But it is what it is. So
unlucky Delhi.
Yeah. And thanks to everyone who's watching. This is my review. And tomorrow I'll be streaming Chelsea versus Barcelona women in the Champions League. I'll be getting up at 6 a.m. to stream that. At least I think it's worth to get up at 6 a.m. to stream some Chelsea women's games compared to Chennai FC. Yeah, it is what it is. After that, I will be doing again another review against the Kolkata Knight Riders on Sunday. Again, few more streams will be coming on as I slowly climb up the ladder to 1.5 to 2,000 subscribers. You all have made me get there. And of course, do make sure to subscribe to Varun as well. I will tag his socials in the description. Make sure to give him a follow for some fun reads, some fun content and whatnot. And as I keep saying in the end of every single video, make sure to stay safe and wash them hands. And I'll see you all in yet another video. This is me, PB Talks, and Varun signing off. Take care, everyone.